Top 14 menopause signs. Few talk about menopause symptoms every woman must know. Are you suddenly waking up drenched in sweat, snapping at people you love, or feeling exhausted for no reason at all? What if I told you these aren't just random annoyances, they could be your body's early warning system screaming for attention? Right now, over 1.1 billion women worldwide are either going through menopause or will experience it within the next decade. That's 1 in every 7 people on Earth. And yet, shockingly, most of the symptoms are dismissed as just stress, just aging, or worse, completely ignored. And that silence is dangerous because while you're told to push through, your body may already be losing energy, breaking down collagen, and weakening bones faster than you realize. Here's the harsh truth: ignoring these symptoms doesn't make them go away, it makes them worse. Every year, millions of American women suffer in silence, not because help doesn't exist, but because no one ever connected the dots for them. Imagine drinking your green smoothie in the morning, believing you're doing everything right, but still struggling with night sweats, brain fog, or aching joints. It's not in your head. It's not just life. It's biology, and it's backed by science. And unless you recognize these hidden signs, you could be losing control of your health without even knowing it. But here's the hopeful part. Knowledge is power, and you are about to take yours back. In this video, we're going to dive deep into 14 proven symptoms of menopause, not just the obvious ones like hot flashes, but also the subtle, rarely mentioned red flags that even doctors sometimes overlook. And I'm not just going to list problems. I'm going to show you the science behind them, the everyday patterns to watch for, and practical tips you can start using right away. By the end, you'll not only understand why your body feels different, but you'll also have the tools to protect your strength, your memory, and your peace of mind. So if you've been wondering, what is happening to me? Stay with me because the answers you've been searching for are right here. This is your chance to stop guessing, stop blaming yourself, and finally see the bigger picture of what's happening inside your body. Let's get started. Symptom number 1, hot flashes. Picture this: you're sitting in a meeting, or maybe just relaxing at home, when suddenly your body feels like someone turned up the thermostat to 110 degrees. Your face flushes, sweat breaks out, and you can't shake the wave of heat rushing through your chest and arms. It's not just embarrassing, it's exhausting, and it leaves many women wondering if something is seriously wrong. The truth: this is one of the most common hidden signs of menopause, affecting up to 80% of women over 40. Here's what's happening inside your body as estrogen levels drop. The brain's thermostat, the hypothalamus, starts to misfire. It confuses tiny changes in your body temperature as a full-blown heat emergency, triggering blood vessels to open wide and sweat glands to pour. That sudden surge is what creates the intense flash of heat, often followed by chills once your body cools down. And it's not just uncomfortable. Research published in Nutrients 2024 shows hot flashes can disrupt cardiovascular health and quality of life when left unmanaged. So what can you do first to track when and where your hot flashes happen? Many women notice they're worse after caffeine, alcohol, or stress. Layer your clothing so you can cool down quickly. Keep a portable fan or cold water nearby, and don't be afraid to talk to your doctor. Today, there are both hormonal and non-hormonal options, and even promising new treatments that target the brain's pathways to reduce the frequency of these flare-ups. Small changes can make a huge difference in how you feel day to day. But just knowing about hot flashes isn't enough, because what happens when your body decides to overheat while you're trying to sleep? That's when the real disruption begins. And it leads us straight into symptom number 2. Symptom number 2, night sweats. Imagine this: you finally fall asleep after a long day, only to wake up at 2 a.m. with your pajamas soaked and your sheets damp, as if you just ran a marathon in your sleep. You kick off the blanket, but the room isn't hot at all. This is more than discomfort. It's your body's thermostat malfunctioning in the middle of the night. And for millions of women in their 40s and 50s, this becomes a nightly battle that steals rest and drains energy. The science is clear during menopause. Sharp drops in estrogen confuse your brain into thinking you're overheating, even when your room is cool. Blood vessels expand, sweat pours out, and deep sleep is shattered. According to a 2021 study in menopause, women with frequent night sweats reported significantly worse memory, mood, and energy levels. It's not just sweating at night, it's a measurable disruption of your health and quality of life. So what can you do first to make your bedroom a sleep sanctuary? Keep the room around 65 backward, use breathable cotton sheets, and avoid alcohol or spicy foods in the evening, since both can trigger episodes. Keep cold water by your bedside. And if symptoms are severe, talk with your healthcare provider about options ranging from lifestyle changes to non-hormonal therapies proven to reduce nighttime hot flashes. Even simple adjustments, like relaxation breathing before bed, can make a surprising difference. But here's the catch: night sweats don't just rob you of sleep, they also set the stage for another hidden struggle. Because when your rest is broken night after night, your brain and body pay the price in ways most women never expect. That's why symptom number 3 is one you absolutely need to hear about. Symptom number 3, sleep disturbances. Picture this: you're staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., wide awake, even though you're completely drained. You try counting sheep, sipping water, adjusting pillows, but nothing works. For many women in midlife, this is the silent thief of energy: menopause, rewiring your ability to rest. And it doesn't just feel frustrating, it chips away at your mood, memory, and daily focus. Here's why: estrogen and progesterone aren't just reproductive hormones, they're natural sleep regulators. When estrogen drops, your body temperature rises at night, often sparking those sudden heat surges that jolt you awake. At the same time, the progesterone, sometimes called the body's natural sleep pill, dips dramatically, making it harder to drift off and even harder to stay asleep. According to a 2019 study in sleep medicine clinics, up to 60% of menopausal women report moderate to severe insomnia, proving this isn't in your head, it's biology at work. So how do you fight back? Start with habits that restore rhythm, create a consistent bedtime routine, limit blue light exposure an hour before sleep, and keep your room cool and dark. Breathing techniques or gentle stretches before bed can calm your nervous system. And if sleepless nights persist, consult a healthcare provider about safe treatments ranging from melatonin supplements to cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI, both of which have proven results for midlife women. The key is not to dismiss poor sleep as just stress, because your body is asking for help. But here's the turning point: once your nights are restless, your days take the hit, and the next symptom shows exactly how. Because lack of sleep doesn't just leave you groggy, it fuels unpredictable emotional storms. That's why mood swings, the next sign, can be even more destabilizing than the sleepless nights themselves. And here's where the science gets even more eye-opening. Researchers at Harvard Medical School followed over 3,000 midlife women and found a direct link between disrupted sleep and higher risks of anxiety, depression, and even heart problems later in life. In other words, those sleepless nights aren't just an inconvenience, they can trigger a domino effect on your mental health, your mood, and even your long-term wellness. One woman in the study said she felt like she was living in a fog, unable to remember conversations from the day before, constantly on edge with her family, and too drained to enjoy life. Her story isn't rare. It's the reality for millions of women across America right now. The takeaway is powerful: when your sleep goes off track during menopause, your whole life feels off track. And that's why the next symptom is so critical to understand, because if sleepless nights are the spark, mood swings are often the wildfire that follows. Symptom number 4, mood swings. If sleepless nights are the spark, emotional swings are the wildfire that follows. One moment you're calm, the next you're snapping at your partner or tearing up over a TV commercial. It feels unpredictable and sometimes even frightening, leaving many women asking, why am I suddenly not myself? This isn't weakness, it's biology taking the driver's seat. Here's what's happening as estrogen levels drop. your brain chemistry shifts dramatically. Estrogen directly influences neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, the very chemicals that regulate mood and keep emotions balanced. When they fluctuate, your brain's control centers like the amygdala and hippocampus become more reactive. A 2021 study published in Psychoneuroendocrinology confirmed that women in the menopausal transition reported significantly higher levels of irritability, sadness, and anxiety. These emotional waves are not all in your head. They're measurable, chemical, and very real. So what can you do? Start with awareness, track your mood changes, and notice if they follow sleepless nights or stressful days. Exercise is one of the most powerful mood stabilizers. Just 30 minutes of walking can boost endorphins. Mindfulness or journaling can help you process emotions before they spill over. And don't hesitate to talk with a trusted friend or therapist. Most importantly, know that seeking help is not a weakness, it's a strategy. Just like you'd see a doctor for high blood pressure, your emotions deserve care too. But knowing this still isn't enough because these emotional swings don't only affect how you feel, they also start to shape how you think. And that's why the next symptom, memory problems, may surprise you even more. Symptom number 5, memory problems. After the emotional roller coaster, many women are shocked to realize it's not just their mood that feels unstable, it's their memory. Imagine walking into a room and forgetting why you came, losing track of conversations, or misplacing your keys for the third time this week. It's unsettling, and for some, it sparks real fear. Am I losing my mind? The answer is no. You're experiencing one of menopause's most overlooked hidden signs. Here's the science. Estrogen isn't only about reproduction, it plays a major role in cognition, especially in how the brain encodes and retrieves information. When estrogen levels decline, the hippocampus, the brain's memory hub, loses some of its support. A 2023 study in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that women in early and late perimenopause showed measurable impairments in verbal memory and processing speed compared to premenopausal women. In plain terms, your brain is working harder just to do what once felt effortless. So what can you do? First, don't panic. Memory lapses are common and usually temporary. Support your brain by prioritizing quality sleep and regular exercise, which boost blood flow and oxygen to neural pathways. Keep your mind active. Reading, puzzles, or even learning a new skill can build cognitive resilience. And don't underestimate the power of nutrition. Omega-3 fatty acids and leafy greens have been linked to better brain function. If memory issues are persistent or severe, it's worth consulting your doctor to rule out other causes and discuss strategies. But knowing that memory can slip is only half the story, because menopause doesn't just touch your mind. It also reshapes one of the most intimate parts of life. And that's why the next symptom, decreased libido, is a sign too important to ignore. Symptom number 6, decreased libido. For many women, this one feels the most personal and sometimes the hardest to talk about. You might notice intimacy doesn't excite you the way it used to, or that even when you want to connect, physical discomfort makes it difficult. One woman described it as wanting closeness, but feeling like her body had put up a wall. This is not just about relationships, it's about confidence, identity, and feeling fully alive. The biology is straightforward. As estrogen drops, vaginal tissues become thinner and less lubricated, often leading to dryness and pain during intimacy. At the same time, testosterone, a hormone that fuels sexual desire in both men and women, also declines with age. Add in fatigue, mood swings, and sleepless nights, and desire can quickly fade. A study presented at the 2024 annual meeting of the Menopause Society revealed that targeted cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, improves sexual desire, arousal, and satisfaction for postmenopausal women. Proving this isn't just emotional, it's a physical and psychological shift that can be supported. So what can you do? First, talk openly with your partner and your doctor. Vaginal moisturizers, lubricants, and local estrogen therapies can make intimacy comfortable again. Exercise and stress reduction boost energy and confidence, which directly influence desire, and therapy, whether individual or couples-based, can rebuild the emotional connection that fuels intimacy. Remember, losing interest doesn't mean you've lost yourself. It's a signal your body needs support. But here's where things get even more draining, because when intimacy fades and energy drops, another symptom often creeps in silently, wearing you down day after day. And that brings us to symptom number 7, fatigue. And this isn't just theory, it's real life for countless women. Take Michelle, a 52-year-old teacher from Ohio. She told her doctor she felt like her body had betrayed her. Intimacy became painful. Her desire vanished, and she worried her marriage would never feel the same. But once she finally opened up about it, she discovered simple changes like using non-hormonal lubricants, practicing stress reduction, and later trying localized estrogen therapy helped her reclaim not only her comfort, but her confidence. Her words were powerful. I realized it wasn't that I didn't want love, I just needed help to feel like myself again. Stories like Michelle's prove one thing: you don't have to choose between silence and suffering. There are solutions, but only if you recognize the signs. And that brings us to the next challenge, because when your energy fades day after day, it's not just about intimacy, it's about your ability to function. That's why fatigue, the 7th symptom, is one of the most draining of them all. Symptom number 7, fatigue. After struggling with intimacy and emotional changes, many women notice another silent thief creeping into daily life: an overwhelming lack of energy. Picture waking up after 8 hours of sleep, yet still dragging through the morning as if you never rested at all. Coffee helps for a moment, but by mid-afternoon you feel completely drained. This isn't laziness, it's your body signaling deeper hormonal shifts. Here's what's happening as estrogen and progesterone decline. The body's cellular energy production slows down. These hormones regulate how efficiently your cells create fuel, so when they dip, stamina plummets. Add in disrupted sleep and heavier periods during perimenopause, and the exhaustion multiplies. A 2025 study in menopause found that women with heavy menstrual bleeding had up to a 62% higher risk of reporting extreme fatigue, often tied to iron deficiency from blood loss. In plain words, your body isn't just tired, it may literally be running out of fuel. So what can you do? First, to rule out iron deficiency with a simple blood test. It's one of the most common yet overlooked causes. Build steady energy with a balanced diet rich in lean protein, leafy greens, and whole grains. Short, regular exercise sessions can actually increase stamina, not drain it, and staying hydrated is critical. And don't dismiss rest naps or scheduled downtime can help reset your system. If fatigue is constant, talk to your healthcare provider about tailored strategies, because you don't have to live at half power. But just managing energy isn't enough, because while fatigue wears you down, another symptom can make you feel like you're losing part of your identity. And that's when you notice changes, not in how you feel, but in how you look: thinning hair. The 8th hidden sign of menopause. Symptom number 8, thinning hair. After weeks of dragging through fatigue, you catch a glimpse in the mirror and notice something even more unsettling. Your once thick hair now looks flat. Strands collect on your pillow, and the shower drain tells the truth you don't want to face. It's not vanity, it's identity. And for many women, it feels like a part of themselves slipping away. Here's the science: estrogen helps keep hair follicles in their growth phase, while progesterone balances shedding. When those hormones drop, follicles shrink, producing thinner, shorter strands that break more easily. Stress and genetics can make it worse. A 2022 study in menopause found that over 50% of postmenopausal women reported noticeable hair thinning or loss. In short, this is one of the most visible hidden signs of menopause, and it's far more common than most realize. So what can you do? Start by nourishing your scalp from the inside out. Aim for a protein-rich diet. Add omega-3s, and consider iron or vitamin D if your levels are low. Gentle hair care matters. Avoid harsh dyes or heat styling, and choose volumizing shampoos instead. For those struggling more severely, treatments like topical minoxidil or medical options recommended by a dermatologist can help regrow density. And remember, Stress worsens shedding, so managing your overall health is as important as any product you apply. But knowing why hair thins only solves half the puzzle, because another sign shows up quietly. Not in your hair, but in your skin. And that's why symptom number 9, dry skin, is a change you can't afford to ignore. Symptom number 9, dry skin. After noticing your hair change, you might realize something else: your skin doesn't feel the same either. The moisturizer you've trusted for years suddenly isn't enough. Your arms, face, even your hands feel rough, itchy, or flaky. And no matter how much lotion you apply, it seems like your skin just can't hold onto moisture. It's not just cosmetic, it's your body signaling another hormonal shift. Here's the science: estrogen plays a vital role in keeping skin plump and hydrated by stimulating the production of natural moisturizers like collagen, ceramides, and hyaluronic acid. When estrogen levels decline, the skin barrier weakens, leading to water loss and that constant dryness. A 2024 study in cosmetics found that over 21% of postmenopausal women reported significantly increased skin dryness compared to premenopausal women. In other words, what you're seeing on the surface reflects what's happening inside. So what can you do? Start by locking in hydration. Use fragrance-free moisturizers with hyaluronic acid or ceramides, and avoid long, hot showers that strip natural oils. Protect your skin daily with SPF, since hormonal changes can also increase sensitivity to sun damage. Staying hydrated and eating foods rich in antioxidants, like berries and leafy greens, support your skin from within. For persistent dryness, dermatologists may recommend specialized treatments or hormone replacement therapy to restore balance. But dry skin is just the surface. What's happening underneath can be even more alarming, especially when it begins to affect your heart. That's why the next symptom, heart palpitations, might be one of the most surprising and unsettling of them all. And the research behind skin health during menopause is striking. A large-scale European study followed more than 2,000 postmenopausal women and found that declining estrogen was directly linked not only to dryness, but also to reduced skin elasticity and slower wound healing. In other words, what looks like just dry skin can actually reflect a deeper loss of protection and resilience. One participant in the study described it this way: "I felt like my skin had aged 10 years in just 12 months, and no cream could keep up." Her words echo what millions of women experience but rarely talk about. The science is clear: these changes aren't just surface level. They reveal how menopause quietly reshapes the body from the inside out. And while moisturizers can help, understanding the hormonal root is the real key to long-term solutions. But skin is only the beginning, because the same hormonal shifts that affect your appearance can also reach deeper, straight to your cardiovascular system. And that's why the next symptom, heart palpitations, can feel both frightening and impossible to ignore. Symptom number 10, heart palpitations. Imagine you're sitting quietly, maybe watching TV or reading a book, when suddenly your heart starts pounding like you've just sprinted up a flight of stairs. Your chest tightens, your pulse races, and for a split second you wonder, am I having a heart attack? For many women, this frightening sensation strikes out of nowhere during menopause, leaving them anxious and unsure of what's happening inside their body. Here's the science: estrogen doesn't just affect reproduction, it also helps regulate the cardiovascular system. When estrogen levels drop, your autonomic nervous system can become more sensitive, leading to sudden changes in heart rhythm. That's why many women report palpitations, skip beats, or rapid heart rates. A 2024 study in menopause found that up to 42% of postmenopausal women experience palpitations, often linked to stress, poor sleep, and reduced quality of life. While they're usually benign, they can feel terrifying in the moment. So what can you do? Start by tracking when palpitations happen. Are they tied to caffeine, stress, or lack of sleep? Cut down on stimulants like coffee or energy drinks. Practice calming breathing exercises. And make sure you're getting enough magnesium and potassium from foods like leafy greens, bananas, and nuts. If palpitations are frequent, come with dizziness, shortness of breath, or chest pain, Consult your doctor immediately to rule out heart disease. Don't ignore them, your body is giving you valuable signals. But here's the critical part. Irregular heartbeats are often paired with another early warning sign that shows up long before menopause is official. And that's why the next symptom, irregular periods, may reveal more about your transition than anything else so far. Symptom number 11, irregular periods. After dealing with racing heartbeats, another sign shows up in plain sight. Your cycle no longer plays by the rules. One month it arrives early, the next it's late, sometimes heavier, sometimes barely there at all. For women in their 40s and 50s, this unpredictability can be confusing and even alarming, especially if you've always been regular. One woman described it as feeling like her calendar had betrayed her, making it impossible to plan vacations or even daily life without anxiety. Here's the science as the ovaries slow down. Estrogen and progesterone levels fluctuate wildly. At the same time, other key hormones like FSH, follicle-stimulating hormone, and LH, luteinizing hormone, surge and crash unpredictably, disrupting ovulation and cycle length. A 2008 study in fertility and sterility revealed that menstrual cycles varying by more than 7 days can begin up to 7 years before the final period, making irregular periods one of the earliest and most telling signs of perimenopause. So what can you do? First, track your cycles. Apps or journals can help spot patterns your memory might miss. Always mention irregular bleeding to your doctor, especially if periods are unusually heavy, since that can increase the risk of anemia. Staying active and maintaining a balanced diet can ease some hormonal swings, and knowing that unpredictability is part of the process can reduce stress. Remember, irregular doesn't mean broken, it means your body is preparing for its next chapter. But irregular periods are only the beginning, because what's happening inside your body during this time can set the stage for something much more silent, yet far more dangerous. And that's why symptom number 12, bone loss and osteoporosis risk, is one of the most critical signs you cannot afford to ignore. Symptom number 12, bone loss and osteoporosis risk. While irregular periods are something you can see, this next change happens silently, and that's what makes it so dangerous. Imagine doing a simple task like lifting groceries or stepping off a curb, only to suffer a fracture from a bone that gave way too easily. Many women don't realize their bones are weakening until it's too late. It's not about getting old, it's about hormonal shifts working against your skeleton, long before you feel any pain. Here's the science: estrogen protects bones by slowing the natural breakdown process. But during menopause, its decline speeds up bone resorption. What's even more surprising is that FSH, follicle-stimulating hormone, often overlooked, has been shown to accelerate bone loss even before estrogen fully drops. A 2022 study in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research revealed that blocking FSH in mice significantly reduced bone loss, highlighting its direct role in osteoporosis risk. In practical terms, your bones may start thinning years before your final period, leaving you vulnerable without warning. So what can you do? Prevention is power. Weight-bearing exercises like walking or light resistance training strengthen bones. Ensure you're getting enough calcium and vitamin D, both crucial for bone density, and consider a bone density scan if you're in your late 40s or 50s. If you have risk factors, ask your doctor about medications or hormone therapy that can protect your skeleton. The key message: don't wait for a fracture to find out, be proactive now. But bone loss doesn't just weaken your frame, it often brings a new kind of pain that touches every part of daily life. And that's why the next symptom, joint and muscle pain, may be the one you feel the most clearly. Symptom number 13, joint and muscle pain. Weak bones are only part of the story, because even before fractures, many women feel their body ache in ways they've never experienced before. Imagine waking up stiff every morning, struggling to climb stairs, or feeling like your muscles are sore even though you haven't exercised. For some, it's the sharp twinge in the knees. For others, it's a constant dull ache in the shoulders or back. This isn't just aging, it's another hidden sign of menopause. Here's the science as estrogen declines. Inflammation rises while pain thresholds drop, making the body more sensitive to discomfort. Hormonal shifts also interfere with cortisol and serotonin, both of which play roles in regulating pain perception. A 2020 study in neuroplasticity found that more than 60% of midlife women reported moderate to severe musculoskeletal pain directly linked to hormonal fluctuations. Add in poor sleep and fatigue, and your body loses much of its ability to repair overnight, leaving muscles and joints stiff and sore. So what can you do? Start small but consistent, low-impact exercises like swimming, yoga, or brisk walking help lubricate joints and strengthen supporting muscles. Anti-inflammatory foods like salmon, nuts, and leafy greens can reduce flare-ups, while staying hydrated helps keep tissues flexible. Gentle stretching before bed can improve morning stiffness, and if pain persists, a doctor may recommend physical therapy or safe medications. The key is to move because inactivity often makes the pain worse. But aching joints are not the final warning sign. There's one more that can be just as disruptive and far more personal. That's why the 14th symptom, urinary issues, may be the most overlooked yet life-altering change of all. We've just explored the many hidden symptoms of menopause, and by now you can see how deeply these changes affect not only the body, but also the mind and daily life. From hot flashes and sleepless nights to bone loss, joint pain, and urinary issues. Every sign is your body's way of sending a message. The key takeaway is simple. These changes are not random, and they are not something you must silently endure. They are signals backed by science, and when you pay attention to them, you can take back control of your health. If you've recognized yourself in any of these symptoms, don't feel discouraged. Awareness is the very first step toward healing. You are stronger than you think, and you do not have to walk this journey alone. Every woman deserves to feel understood, supported, and empowered in midlife. I'd love to hear from you. Comment below and share which symptom surprised you most, or what helped you the most in your own journey. Your story may give another woman the courage to take action. And don't forget, save this video so you can revisit it anytime. And subscribe to our channel for the latest science-based health insights, especially upcoming videos on kidney health and how to protect your body's natural filters as you age. Together, we're building a community that puts women's health first. Remember, menopause is not the end of vitality. It's the beginning of a new chapter. With knowledge, action, and support, you can live with strength, clarity, and hope for all the years ahead.